Wow, that's so kind. I would like to thank my people for for being so loving. Tusi kamal yaar, eddi mohabbat kya baat hai. Okay, I'd like to follow up from this. Cricket. The country is crazy about cricket. We are a cricket nation. And I saw a picture of yours wearing a Pakistani jersey. Were you watching a cricket match? What's the story behind it?
Oh, this was during the T20 last year, where I was sitting. I'm learning about cricket, so I can't pretend to be any kind of a specialist in cricket. But I was sitting on my roof when some of the matches were going on, and every time, every once in a while, when there was a run or an out or something, I could hear it because the whole neighborhood erupted. It's, whoa! And I thought, I've got to learn something about this game.
Wow. So let me ask you a question on that. Do you know who the captain of the current Pakistani cricket team is?
Babar Azam.
What are your thoughts on Babar?
I've heard he's a very good, batter.
He's one of the best ones these days. And we've got the World Cup coming up in India. Pakistan is playing against India on the 14th of October in Ahmedabad. Any message for the Pakistani cricket team?
Go, go, go. We're rooting for you.
Go, Pakistan, go! Riina is with us. So can we expect you to wear the Pakistani jersey once again? And
absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're supporting us then?
It's pressed, it's clean, it's ready to go.
It's all ready. Istri ho gayi, ab full ready, shady, okay. And, we'll have some snacks probably if I can join you also.
Sure.
Wow. The fact that she praised Babar, she is supporting the Pakistani team. I think we've won. I think we're winning. Jeet gaya. Jeet gaya.
Yes.
So, since you're on a mainstream infotainment show, I'm sure everyone wants to know if you've got an interest in Pakistani arts and literature and any Pakistani movie that you've seen recently.
I've seen a couple of Pakistani movies. I've seen Joyland and I've seen Cake.
Oh, and both Joyland and Cake. Very nice.
Yeah, and I loved both of them, and I especially loved the music in Cake, actually. It was fantastic. But I do a lot of reading. So films and literature. I do a lot of reading of contemporary Pakistani writers. Mohsin Hamid, Muhammad Hanif, Kamila Shamsi, Bapsi Sidwa. I have a shelf waiting and a shelf that's already been read.
Very nice. Of these Pakistani writers.
These are all Pakistani contemporary writers.
Very nice. Let me just speak to my youth. Oh, tuanu nahi pata hona enna writer da te oh mashallah padde paine kuch sikho. Moving on from that, I'd like to ask you, you've been in Pakistan, and when you're in Pakistan, you come across exciting, interesting, funny instances. What's the funniest question that a local journalist has ever asked you?
I can tell you the most frequently asked question.
Frequently, let's go for that.
It's, how do you like Pakistani food? That's what everybody asks me. And there's one answer.
What?
It's fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic.
What's your favorite dish, if any?
Oh, I like dal.
Dal. Hi, desi घियो का तड़के वाली लाल पीली dal. Dal. Claps for dal. A big hand of applause for dal. Amazing. So, you've traveled around the world. Your mother's from Estonia. You were born and raised in the US, and then because of your work, you've literally traveled around the world. Any cultural element that you find is unique to Pakistan?
Culture is it's like a pyramid. It's what you see at the top is things like, how people dress, how they speak, what they look like. But it's below, it's like an iceberg. It's below the surface that the real culture comes in, where you find out about people's values, their norms, their cultural beliefs, that sort of thing. And here, I think the biggest change, the biggest difference with Europe is the emphasis on family. Family is the end all and be all here. People live together, multiple generations live together often. Family is always, it's big, much bigger families also than we have in Europe generally. And it really, you can see that this is what is close to people's hearts, is their family. That's the most important unit. And that's a difference from Europe, for sure.
No, I think that's a very valid point. The whole notion of family and living together. और ये पाकिस्तान की वाकई के हम लोग जो साथ रहते हैं, इसी वजह से हम बहुत से मसलों से डील कर लेते हैं. But just moving on from that, what do you find most fascinating about a Pakistani celebration? It could be a wedding or a birthday, or I don't know if you've gone out on Independence Day on 14th August and you've seen those bajas. But what do you find most fascinating about a Pakistani celebration? Have you been to a wedding?
I have not been to a
Don't tell
wedding.
me you've been here for a year and you haven't been to a wedding.
I have not been invited to a wedding yet.
Dr. Riina has not been invited to a wedding.
Is anybody getting married?
Isi da vyah ho raha hai? I might have to get married just to invite you. But it's such a shame you haven't been to a wedding. Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that we take you to a Pakistani wedding so you get to see how we celebrate. And then you can probably answer this question.
Yes, good.
But you know, when we talk about the economy, a large part of how our money is being rotated and it's being circulated, it's because of Pakistani weddings. You know, we have so many of these traditions, juta chupai, goda bithai, gala chupai, you know, this goda pakrai. There's so much money that's circulated at Pakistani weddings. But when you visit one, you'll definitely get to experience it. And I'm sure you will love it. Because in Pakistan, it's like a month of preparing for the wedding, then just experiencing the whole wedding, and then the post-wedding events. And I don't understand how people can take out 30 days. It's like 30, 40 days.
Look, I had a colleague last year who was gone for something like, it felt like 2 months.
2 months!
And then he came back and he said, and I said to him, I haven't seen you for a while. And he said, well, ma'am, you know, it's wedding season. So I understood that it's very important. It takes a lot of time.
It's like everyone stops working. And I at times wonder, what if Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, they like took breaks of 2 months just to attend their sister's son's wedding? What would happen to Apple and Microsoft? But here we have too much time to give to these weddings. But, you know, maybe when you get to experience one, you also understand why we do that, because it's so much fun. And in life, I think it's all about smiling and having fun. And the follow-up question is, you're dealing with so much, you know, you're meeting so many different people. I'm sure there's so many people working for you and there's so much that you have to deal with. How do you stay happy? You know, because you've got such cool, happy, positive vibes. Like, what's the reason?
You know, I think music is part of it, actually. Music keeps me happy.
Is it?
And I work out at the gym, and I think physical exercise always is regular physical exercise helps, you know, keep the spirits up. So that's
music and regular physical exercise, very important. If you've got good physical health, you would directly have an impact on your mental health and well-being. So that's actually a very valid point. Following up from that, Riina, you recently joined a group of Pakistani musicians to give a special tribute to Pakistan on the 14th of August. We'll play the video here, and then I want to know what's the story behind it. How did that happen? Where did the idea come from?